They sound so real. It's lovely. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. It's a special Sunday. We have lovely musicians here, but we have special ones today, as you can see. So we're all about music here, and that's the first thing you need to know about us. The second is, if you are new here, we are so happy to have you, and just so you know, you belong. If you're not sure where you belonged, where you fit in at a church, this is it. We are your people. We welcome everyone. We love everyone. And we're so happy to have you. And welcome to those coming back. We're equally happy to have you as well. I'm Mary Beth. I'm your service leader today. My pronouns are she and her. I have our website here, so if you didn't get a pamphlet at the front, if you're new here, you can go on our website. It has everything you could possibly need to know about UU and our church specifically. And if you have any questions, though, please see a greeter out front or grab a pamphlet, and they're just on the credenza out there. And it has our covenant, which we'll say in a little bit, and our 8 principles. So we're skipping our 8 principles video today because we want to have plenty of time for our lovely musicians. But you can read those, and that just really sums up our culture here at UUCP. I'm going to take a minute to please remind everyone to shut off all their devices or silence them. Again, we have a very special service today, and I don't want any interruptions, especially for those listening online, and we welcome you as well. I have a few announcements. Also, we have something special going on in the lobby. Lots of things. This is a very happening Sunday, so if you're new, you're going to be impressed already, I'm sure. So first and foremost, most important, right, is Sunday Sweets. A new Sunday Sweets year is about to begin, so grab your sweets before you get snowed in. We know that y'all will like what you see, and remember, some selections are gluten-free. Thank you, Margaret, for that. Yes. So if you don't know what Sunday Sweets is, it is a fundraiser that we do most year round. I think we take off a few months in the summer, but we are solely member funded here at this church. And so, Sunday Sweets goes to pay for lots of things. So hopefully you brought your cash. We also take check if you need to Venmo or whatever. Let us know. We'll figure something out. But if you are new, you get a free piece of whatever, slice, spoonful, whatever. So just let them know back there. Michael, Patty, Jack, Margaret. We have a lovely Sunday Sweets staff. So after service, grab that. We also have coffee. If you go out this way and go around, there's probably some other treats and coffee and water. So. Another announcement is, unfortunately, a sad one. The Martin Luther King Day Parade tomorrow has been postponed. If y'all aren't aware, bust out your winter coats because it's going to get real cold tomorrow, and they've decided to postpone that. So if you don't know, we represent our church and our community every year, and we haven't missed it in several decades. So it's really sad, and hopefully we can make the rescheduled one. But anyway, so thank you for those who have been helping us out with the parade, our parade float. I guess stay tuned on when that'll be rescheduled. We'll keep you all posted as soon as we know something. Also, another announcement, I think our last one, not too many today. If you don't know, if you aren't aware, Manna Food Bank, we work with them. We usually collect things for them. We have like a constant box going with canned goods and things like that. But they're about to have a big Super Bowl party. It's a Super Bowl of Caring event, and it's happening on Super Bowl Sunday, which is February 9th. And so they asked if we could kind of, help out and really bring in more than we usually do if we can. So it's anything canned goods. Please don't bring things that are melty or, don't last long. So they said tuna is huge, canned tuna, canned fruits, those individual packets are really helpful. So let's really try and step up our game. I know we do a good job year round, but if we could, step it up a little bit more, that would be fantastic. So we only have a couple of weeks to do that. We have hopefully they put it in the email. We have next week, the February 2nd, and then the collection is February 9th. So sorry for the late notice. We just found out about it, but, just grab, 50 extra cans of something at your next grocery visit. I thank you so much. And, okay, I think that's all the announcements. So I mentioned the pamphlets, I mentioned our website, and a little bit of information more. Last little bit is we are lay-led. We are a lay-led congregation, meaning we don't have like a normal, every Sunday pastor or minister. So, which is great because you get lots of different perspectives. We have guest speakers come in, we have members from our congregation speak, and then we have super cool musicians that come in and, really just put on a show. So we're very blessed and lucky to have such a good wide variety of services for you all. Okay, at this point, I'm going to ask if Nancy can come up and we will light our chalice. And our chalice is something we do every Sunday, and I just have some opening chalice words for us. May this flame we light remind us that every one of us can bring the light of love to the world. May this clear flame be a symbol that every heart can burn bright with joy, peace, and harmony. May the wisdom of ages speak to us through this flame and stay in us. Every one of us can be a blessing to this world. May it be so. Thank you, Nancy. And again, since we have a special service today, we're going to keep this first part a bit short. So we're skipping over our normal hymns that we do as a congregation, but I'm pretty sure y'all are going to know some of the songs this morning that are sung. But at this time, we will say our covenant. So if you are willing and able to please stand and say our covenant with us. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Thank you. You may be seated. we also like to share as a community our joys and sorrows. We want to celebrate with you, and we also want to mourn with you or to cry with you, to give you a big embrace, metaphorically or physically. And at this time is our joys and sorrows, so you can share those with us as a community. They're not shared online, so they won't be posted and won't be made public. It's just for here in our congregation. But if you want to share that with us, if you will just line up on either side, and we'll light a candle for you and just share your name and briefly your joy or concern. And I will light the first one just as a blanket candle for all the things going on around the world. I know there are some, maybe some heavy hearts or something for a big day tomorrow, both with the inauguration and with Martin Luther King Day. So I'm going to light one big candle for that, and then if you want to share something personal.
Hi, I'm Ray.
If you will help join me in singing out Our Children, that would be greatly appreciated. Go now in peace, go now in joy. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Thank you, that was lovely. Paula, would you mind coming up? And we have again, for those of you who don't know, usually our fifth Sunday is designated to a specific charity around town. And we missed December, so I'm going to have Paula talk about the one from December. Thank you.
Yeah, there was a lot going on in December, and somehow we didn't get it done. Today, in place of that donation, we'll be sharing Beyond Our Walls with an organization called Movement for Change. Now, Movement for Change is a grassroots civil rights organization founded in 1997. Its mission is to advocate and be the voice for disenfranchised citizens of Escambia County and the surrounding areas, and to provide a better quality of life. It has many goals, including education of the community about issues of social justice, and to provide programs that enhance educational and economic opportunities of the residents. Among its guiding principles is to express mutual respect for all persons regarding race, gender, disability, and sexual orientation. The organization was founded by Leroy Boyd, who was a tireless advocate for Pensacola's black community until his death at the age of 64 in 2010. Among their many undertakings are AIDS testing and forums for education on issues of civil rights, public schools, voting rights, and others. They're particularly interested in having programs for the youth in their community. The current president is Rodney Jones, who has addressed this congregation before in his role as the founder and organizer of a program for youth called New World Believers. The current vice president is Jerry McIntosh, who is another tireless worker in the field of civil rights. I had invited Jerry to be here, but he apparently couldn't make it today. Please give generously to this inspiring grassroots organization with a record of continued effectiveness in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. So at this time, I'm going to ask if our ushers will come up, and we'll pass around a basket. And again, anything that isn't otherwise designated to something else will go to Movement for Change. And I'm going to have Tom come up and start our service today. And just so you know, we may go a little bit over, but as you can clearly tell, it's going to be worth it. So yes, thank you, Tom.
Good morning, everybody. Am I coming through to you? Is it right? Okay. I'm Tom Botsford, a longtime friend of the church, and it's my pleasure to organize this program this morning about Nina Simone. Now, there's a reason we decided to hold this program on Nina today, and all of you know is MLK Sunday. And Nina Simone knew Dr. King in the early days of the civil rights struggle of our time. Now, that would be the one that goes back to the late 1950s, early 1960s. She joined King during the Selma to Montgomery March of 1965, and even sang her notorious hit song, Mississippi Goddamn, at a rally following the march. Now, I don't know how many of you have heard Mississippi Goddamn, but I'll give you just a taste of the lyrics. Alabama's gotten me so upset, Tennessee made me lose my rest, and everybody knows about Mississippi, goddamn. Hound dogs on my trail, school children sitting in jail, black cat crossed my path, I think every day's gonna be my last. Lord, have mercy on this land of mine, We all gonna get it in due time. Nina Simone wrote this protest song in the wake of the 1963 bombing of the 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama, a black church some of us are old enough to remember, killed 4 children, and 4 members of the KKK had planted 19 sticks of dynamite under the church steps. This is 63, and that was just too much for many, many, many people. The turning point certainly was for Nina. And again, some of us are old enough to remember those days, but the threat of violence was in the air, and we could all feel it. Now, because of her personal experiences, Nina Simone was especially sensitive to the civil rights struggle in the South. She felt the good, nonviolent folks were losing the fight to secure equal rights for African Americans, especially voting rights. Increasingly, she became more militant in her opinions, doubting that nonviolence could do the job of changing society. Like Malcolm X, whom she also knew, she favored the use of any means necessary, nonviolent or not. Now, this rage surfaced in some of her protest songs and in her remarks that she made to audiences. And she even told Dr. King the same thing. I think he was just very nicely said. But she loved, make no mistake, she loved and revered King. When King was assassinated in the spring of 1968, she mourned his loss in a song asking, "What must we do now that the King of Love, capital K, capital L, now that the King of Love is gone?" And she blamed the country, frankly. Had plenty of names for the country, including the United Snakes of America. In her despair and in her outrage after King's death, and for much of the rest of her life, she lived abroad in Barbados, Liberia, which is in Africa, Switzerland, Holland, and especially France. She returned to the U.S. from time to time, but always was more popular in Europe in the latter part of her career. Now, the rage over racism was not the only negative force that Nina was dealing with. She had her own personal demons. She was manic, maybe bipolar, and those who worked with her endured fits of anger, violent temperament. She would chastise audiences, show up late for gigs, sometimes not at all. Eventually, her ex-husband, who was a skilled business manager and had really done a great job managing her business, he couldn't work with her anymore, and she fell into debt and was dodging the IRS, and this sad drama and a lot of others continued over the last 30 years of her life. Though she was financially successful by any measure, she cared more about her art and particularly about the civil rights movement. She might have been a superstar if she had cooled the racial rhetoric just a little bit back in the 60s, and her husband was pushing for that, but she couldn't. And she just couldn't compromise. She wasn't a compromising person, it turns out. And by the way, she wasn't always known as Nina Simone. Her name was Eunice Wayman, and she grew up in Tryon, North Carolina. Even from an early age, Eunice was musical, so much so she was regarded as a child prodigy, not as a singer, but on the piano. And some of the townspeople, including the whites, were impressed enough to start a fund for her classical training. I know it sounds wonderful, and it was, and she practiced and she became very good, but the flip side was the isolation and the anxiety she endured practicing hard every day. She said it completely separated her from any childhood friends, and so she was a lonely figure in many ways. She had a goal, and it was to be the first African American concert pianist, and she took some classes at Juilliard. She was really good, and she tried out to continue her studies in classical music, but she did not make it. Her performance was considered not adequate for the Music Academy, And the classical music world at that time was about lily white, really. And Nina suspected, and probably we would suspect, that she didn't get a fair hearing on that. And she thought that was just an example of the kind of racism that we dealt with in society. Well, when she didn't get that scholarship that she needed, a whole family had moved to Philadelphia, and they were expecting it. It was a crushing blow, and so she had to go out and find a way to support her family. They'd all moved up there with her, and so she hired out as a piano player in bars, dives, Philadelphia, Atlantic City, poorly paid work for the most part. And one day one of the owners said, "You know what? They got piano players that sing at some of these places. We need you to sing." And she said, "I don't sing," but to keep the job, she sang. And she always thought more of her piano playing, very proud of her classical piano background, than her singing. So it was kind of a mistake that she fell into the career that she did. And this period of her life, after she didn't get into the academy and was making it on her own, of course she adopted the stage name Nina Simone, and she recorded a record. It's entitled Little Girl Blue. It was on a small label, the Bethlehem label. It's still very much in print. I think it's the best one she ever made, and you ought to check it out, Little Girl Blue, because it contained 2 hits. One was I Love You, Porgy, from Porgy and Bess, and the other one was a song called My Baby Just Cares for Me. Well, when My Baby Just Cares for Me started getting a little airplay, she was asked her opinion about it, and she dismissed it. That's just a trifle. It wasn't classical. It wasn't a protest song. It wasn't an important message. But you know what? The folks in Jamaica just loved it, and it was a hit in Jamaica way back in the 60s. And 30 years later, Chanel No. 5, the iconic perfume, bought the rights for My Baby Just Cares for Me and made it the soundtrack of a fragrance. I didn't know fragrances had soundtracks, so apparently and this was great news for her. The income from that was big, and it boosted that song, of course. Well, there's a lot more we could say about her. She's a complex figure, but we would rather hear some music. But I will recommend, if you haven't seen the movie on Nina Simone on Netflix, it's called What Happened, Miss Simone. I would recommend that because it's great footage of her singing and some insight into her problems, her many problems. Well, today we have an excellent group. We have Pearl Ash, singer Pearl Ash, and she's brought with us George Proplopoulos on piano, Tim Jackson on bass, and Brian Morris on drums. And they've been practicing this morning, and they sound fabulous, so it's just a treat to have them. In the past 20 years, Pearl Ash has been one of the lead singers with Mr. Big and the Rhythm Section, in the Rhythm Sisters, Mr. Big and the Rhythm Sisters. Maybe some of you know the band. It's a very large, successful band. Additionally, Pearl fronts a rock band called Bring Home the Benjamins and pursues an active career in film, both acting and as an assistant director. I heard her last spring at Pensacola Jazz Fest singing My Baby Just Cares for Me and other Nina Simone tunes, and with excellent backing on piano from George, it turns out, was there that day. And it was a musical highlight of the festival for me, and I was wishing I could hear more, so I'm very grateful that she accepted this invitation today. I might add that Pearl's musical background goes back to her childhood and high school in Laurel, Mississippi, where she was in plays, musicals, singing groups, and church groups. She was a finalist for an Opryland spot. She made regular TV appearances with the gospel group. She went on to gain experience as a DJ and voiceover artist, and of course I mentioned her work in film. A very creative soul, and it's a pleasure today to have her with us. Now, we'll ask them just to sing several songs. They'll start with My Baby Just Cares for Me, follow that with another song from that first Little Girl Blue record, Love Me or Leave Me, then a ballad, Mr. Bojangles, a couple of movement songs, including I Wish I Knew How It Feels to Be Free, and finally, if time permitting, an old show tune called Feeling Good. So please welcome Pearl Ash and her band.
Good morning. Thank you guys for having us. Thank you, Tom, he really did seek me out, you guys, a few times. Thank you, Tom. I thank you for inviting us. Again, we don't have a band name. We're just Pearl, and we just play. So, again, Brian. George, I guess it's Tim, on the keys. And Tim Jackson on bass. We really it's a piece of the band. We've been together really for 20 plus years. That's all I'm gonna say, because I'm not gonna tell you how old I am. Okay. But I'm glad to be here. So Nina Simone, what can I say? He said it all. But I'm just gonna sing some things. A lot of these may be covers that she did, but still was Nina to the core. So whenever we're gonna start off with, like you said, My Baby Just Cares for Me. My baby don't care for shows. He don't even care for clothes. My baby just cares for me, for me. My baby don't care for cars and races. My baby don't care for, he don't care for high-tone places. Liz Taylor is not his style. And even Lana Turner's smile is something he can't see. My baby don't care who knows it. My baby just cares for me. We're gonna give you a break with the band, a very rare break. So y'all gotta listen to them while you can. George. Got to do this early because we're going to run out of time later. So I'm going to give you Brian here. Give it up, Brian. All right. Mr. Tim Jackson here on bass. No treble. Give it up for the section, all right. My baby don't care for shows. He don't even care for clothes. My baby just cares for me. My baby don't care for cars and races. Baby don't care for. He don't care for high-tone places. Liz Taylor is not his style. And even Liberace's smile is just something he can't see. I wonder what's wrong with baby. My baby just cares for. My baby just cares for. My baby just cares for me. Thank you. All right, Love Me or Leave Me, I think. Didn't he say he mentioned that one too, didn't he? I guess I have to do that one. Anytime you're ready, George. So, let's see what I got. Yeah. Yeah, so this song was in a movie in the 1930s, but I'm going to tell you who made this, who got an award for this, a Grammy Award, actually Ella Fitzgerald, who did that in 1963, so she got a Grammy Award for that song. Love Me or Leave Me. Say love me, leave me, or let me be lonely. You don't believe but I love you only. I'd rather be lonely than happy with somebody new. Oh, you might find the right time for kissing. Might find the nighttime is for reminiscing, regretting and forgetting with somebody new. There'll be no one unless that someone is you. I intend to be independently blue. Oh, I want your love, I don't want to borrow. Have it today and give it back tomorrow. Your love is my love and there's no love for nobody else. Say love me, leave me, or let me be lonely. You don't believe me, I love you only. I'd rather be lonely than happy with somebody else. Oh, you might find the nighttime the right time for kissing. I find the nighttime is just for reminiscing, regretting instead of forgetting with somebody else. There'll be no one unless that someone is you. I intend to be independently blue. I want your love, I don't want to borrow. Have it today to give back tomorrow. Your love is my love is your love. There's no love for nobody else. Woo! this ballad, he's called it, it's a deep song. I'm gonna tell you, I was a little girl in Mississippi, of course. And this young man at the time was young in people's eyes today. And he was on the Dean Martin show. Okay, so nobody knows about Dean Martin, but that's okay. So I heard him sing this song, Little Petite Man. His name is Sammy Davis Jr. And when he sang that song, when he sang that song, I was young, but the words to the song, you know, me being so small at the time, meant a lot to me. So when I got to be older and I got to sing the song, it just meant a lot to me. So bear with me through the song, but it is Mr. Bojangles. I knew a man, Bojangles, and he danced for you in worn-out shoes, with silver hair, a ragged shirt, and baggy pants. In worn-out shoes, he jumped so high, he jumped so high. And he lightly touched down. I met him in a cell in New Orleans. I was down and out. He looked at me to be the eyes of age he was. As he spoke out, he talked of life. Oh, he talked of life. He laughed, slapped his leg a step. Ooh, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, dance. He said his name, Bojangles, and he danced a lick across the cell. He grabbed his pants and fed a stance, and oh, how he jumped. My God. Then he clicked his heels. He let go a laugh. He let go a laugh. Shook his shoulders and clothes, and he danced all around. Oh, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, dance. Okay, this is the verse here. He danced for those in minstrel shows and county fairs throughout the South. He spoke with tears of 15 years how his dog and him traveled about. His dog up and died. His dog up and died. And after 20 years, he still grieves. He said I dance now, and every chance I get I do. For drinks and tips, I spend most time behind these county bars. 'Cause see, I drink so big. Oh, but he shook his head, and he shook his head, and I heard somebody ask, respectfully, please, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, dance, dance, dance. So anybody remember Sammy Davis Jr.? All right. So I'm sorry, but that just means sentimental to me. So yeah, Mom and Dad is gone. So and Sammy Davis Jr. is gone, and Mr. Bojangles, just dance. We're gonna do the work song for you, Nina Simone. All right, come on, y'all. Let's do this thing. Working hard on the chain gang, been working, serving my time. Been working hard on the chain gang, 'cause they done convicted me of crime. Hold it steady while I hit it. Well, I reckon that ought to get it. Been working and working, but I still got so very far to go. I committed a crime, Lord, I needed. Crime of being hungry and poor. I left the grocery store, man, breathing, when they caught me robbing the store. Oh, they said it while I hit it. Well, I reckon that's gonna get it. Been working and working, and I still got so very far to go. I heard the judge say 5 years on the chain gang, you gotta go. I heard the judge say 5 years later. I heard my old man yell, Lordy, no. Hold it steady. Well, I reckon that's gonna get it. Been working and working, and I still got so very far to go. All right, y'all got it. Gonna see my sweet honey baby. Gonna break these chains off and run. Gonna lay down somewhere shady, 'cause the Lord it sure is hot in the sun. Oh, they said it while I hit it, 'cause I reckon that's gonna get it. Been working and working and working and working. I've been working and working, and I still got so terribly far to go. Yeah. Billy Taylor did this one. He's written by Billy Taylor. This song is I Wish I Knew How It Feel to Be Free. The song served as the anthem for the civil rights movement in the 60s. So Nina Simone, she did this on her Silk and Soul album. So Nina did this one, so it's a cover for her. So I wish I knew how it feel to be free. I knew how it feels to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things I should say. Say 'em loud, say 'em clear, for the whole round world to hear. I wish I could share all the love in my heart. I wish I could move all that keeps us apart. I wish you could know what it feels to be free. Then you see and agree that every man could be free. I wish I could give all I'm longing to give. I wish I could live how I'm longing to live. I wish I could do all the things that I could do. Then I'm way overdue, but I'd be starting anew. I wish I could fly like a bird in the sky. How sweet it would be if I'd found I could fly. I'd fly toward the sun and look down on the sea. Then I see, oh I know, yeah, 'cause I see how it feels, how it feels. I wanna know how it feels. Yeah, I could see how it feels, yeah, I would see how it feels. I would see how it feels to be free. One more? Okay. One more? 20. Okay, so we'll do 20 more minus 19. Birds flying high, you know how it feels. Sun up in the sky, you know how it feels. Breeze drifting on by, you know how it feels. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. Ooh. And I'm feeling good. And I'm feeling good. Fish of the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when the day is done, you know what I mean. And this old world is a whole world and a bold world for me. George. Make it. For George. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling I'm feeling good. Hey! I'm feeling good, and I'm feeling good. Thank you, thank you.
As we extinguish our as we extinguish our chalice today, may we take King Love and Pearl Ash, along with her musical foursome, into our hearts and experience the music and the notes in your own hearts. Go in peace.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you again, sweetheart.